Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here, and welcome to my new series on emotions and on how to process them. We're starting off strong. We're going to talk about anger today. This is extremely important, and I will tell you why in just a moment. Anger is a basic foundational emotion that we all have. Even animals feel anger, and this is exactly why it's important for us to learn how to express it, because a lot of the times when people do not know how to express it in healthy ecological ways, they end up hurting themselves or hurting other people, which we want to avoid at all costs. Now, how are you going to feel once you learn how to express anger? You're going to feel significantly more confident. You're going to feel confident in yourself. You'll improve your self-image. You will have a stable level of self-esteem. You will be able to rely on yourself and depend on yourself. You will stop being a victim, and you will learn how to build healthy relationships. You will stop getting into codependent and abusive relationships. And another important thing, you will also have a lot more energy, because you will no longer have to hold on to the past situations and circumstances that make you feel trapped and victimized. So you will finally be able to focus on your present and on your future, instead of being stuck in the past, being angry at certain people or at certain events. So yeah, these are going to be pretty, helpful tips. Okay, so what happens when the anger is unprocessed? Of course, like I said before, it means that you're going to feel a lot of resentment, you're going to feel stuck, and a lot of people Okay, so what are some of the unhealthy and unhelpful ways to deal with your anger? Drugs, alcohol, eating disorders, codependent relationships, abusive relationships, autoaggression. Now let's talk about autoaggression separately, because I actually very rarely see people talk about this, and this is a very important topic. Now, autoaggression happens when we haven't let go of certain situation from the past, when someone crossed a boundary or we didn't get what we wanted, and we know it that we did not stand up for ourselves. We know that we are angry with someone for doing something to us, right? And since we did not express that, now on the subconscious level, we feel angry with ourselves because we did not defend ourselves and our interests. And now, once again, subconsciously, our body is going to find ways to hurt itself. What happens a lot of the times is, besides all of the obvious ways to hurt ourselves, like, I don't know, drugs and alcohol, right? And eating disorders and such. It's also going to be situations when you are constantly covered in bruises because you keep hitting the sharp corners. And it's specifically strange when you realize that it happens to you in your own home, or, in some kind of space that you know very well. So you should not be hitting yourself because you know the space very well, right? But that actually happens because your body is trying to subconsciously hurt you because it's trying to punish you, So this is just another reason to learn to express anger in a healthy way, so that you do not unintentionally hurt yourself, and you do not store all of this resentment and anger towards yourself as well. Because obviously, if left, unprocessed, unexpressed, it's going to be, it can be really destructive. Now, speaking of destructive, what are some of the more socially acceptable ways to express anger, right? Because when we think about anger, I feel like a lot of people will think about like yelling, screaming, and breaking things, these are for sure ways to express how you feel, but these ways are unhealthy because they can lead to, destroyed relationships and ruined connections with people. It's going to leave you unsatisfied even more so in the long run, because you cannot express how you feel in a calm and collected manner. So, All right, so this would be resentment and passive aggression, which I did mention before. Resentment is the kind of like some people like to say that it's a more childish, more immature way to feel and express anger, because we lack agency. We feel like we cannot speak about how we feel, but we are going to hold on to our feelings, and we are going to feel like a victim, Do you know what I mean? We're going to feel like a victim. And since we lack agency, like I said before, we are going to, instead of directly expressing how we feel and asking for whatever it is that we want, we are going to keep putting ourselves in situations that keep reaffirming it to us how much of a victim we are. So, speaking of passive aggression, it's also the constant kind of like background feeling of being unsatisfied. You're not going to yell at anyone, but you will keep making unpleasant comments towards people. You're going to feel like your needs are not satisfied, they're never satisfied, and it will also be taking a lot of energy from you. Generally, unexpressed anger, any unexpressed emotion really, but we're talking about anger here, right? Unexpressed anger is going to keep a lot of energy. It's going to steal a lot of energy from you because you will keep holding on to it because it's not expressed. Now, why do we not express anger? Why do we not know how to do this? Knowing how to express your feelings in a healthy and ecological manner is a skill. And if you've not taught how to do this as a child, this is something that you will have to learn as an adult, because this is unfortunately not something innate. It's not something that we just get, something that we just kind of like get a feel for. So yes, it's an actual skill that you will have to learn. Much more so in the past, but unfortunately nowadays as well. A lot of people, when they have children, they do not aim to raise emotionally stable adults who can regulate themselves and understand themselves, but they just want quiet, obedient children. From a very young age, a lot of the times we were taught to feel, shame for feeling angry. We're taught to feel secondary shame for, expressing how we feel. So we learn to just shut it down and to suppress it, which is, extremely unhealthy. It's of course a very bad habit that a lot of people carry on with them into their adulthood because they do not know any better. We're going to fix it. We're going to fix it today. We're going to learn about anger and what to do with it with actual tips, okay? All right, so when do we feel anger? Anger happens most of the times in two situations. Situation number one, when our boundaries were crossed. So something that we did not want to happen happened to us. Number two, when we did not get what we wanted. So our needs were not met. We have unsatisfied needs. Now, what does that mean? That means that we need to learn to do two very important things. We need to learn to set boundaries. I keep talking about this one. And we need to learn to express what we want. Let's start with the second one. Expressing what we want seems to be an easy thing to do, but again, a lot of people don't know how to do this. So I do suggest you just write it down. Learn how to ask for what you want, speaking from the place of yourself. Use the I expressions, such as, I would like for you to do something for me. This is something that would make me feel really good. Please, I would like to ask for you to do something for me. Learn how to speak from the place of, I would like something, this would make me feel really good. It sounds really basic, but this is something that a lot of people actually need to learn how to do. So if you're struggling with this, I suggest you write down multiple, expressions of how you can ask someone to do something for you. Setting boundaries can be really difficult to do as well, especially if you've never done this before. It is a skill, just like all the other things that we're talking about here. If this is not coming naturally to you, it means that you were never taught how to do this, and this is your job now to do this for yourself and to learn how to establish boundaries. You have to do this respectfully. You have to do this in a very calm manner. Unfortunately, I understand that sometimes it may be very tempting to, yell at someone and tell them exactly how you feel, but if you want to do that, you'll have to use a different tip that I have for you afterwards. Okay, so if we talk about crossed boundaries, this can happen in the moment, or it could be a situation from the past. If it happens to you in the moment, okay, if you feel angry in the moment, there are two things that you can do. Number one, you can set boundaries. You can stop someone and you can tell them how you feel. Speak from the place, once again, like we talked about previously, about asking for what you want. You speak about how you feel and how you would like for the other person to not treat you. So you ask someone to stop doing whatever it is that they're doing that makes you feel angry, and it's okay to just to express that you feel angry. This is actually incredibly healthy to say to someone that you are angry with them. Do not yell at them, but do tell them. A really important moment here is that you have to feel physically safe expressing your anger like this to someone in real life. Especially if you're a woman, you have to assess your situation and understand that if it is unsafe for you in the current circumstances to set a boundary, you never put your anger before your safety, okay? We're going to deal with the anger afterwards, but please make sure that you are safe. Now, how do you deal with that situation afterwards? Or how do you generally deal with something that made you feel really angry that happened to you in the past? You can do the things that you, I am sure, already heard of, such as sports, of course. You can do some boxing, you can kick something, you can throw something soft like a pillow, you can shake your body, you can listen to music and make sure you really shake your body in order to physically shake the emotion out of your body. That might sound silly, but it actually works really well. Sometimes when you feel a lot of build-up anger and you want to scream, if it's not possible for you to, I don't know, go to a forest or to a cliff or something like that and scream there, you can scream in a pillow. This is also an effective method. Now, we're going to talk about my very favorite method of expressing your anger. You're going to write angry letters. What is an angry letter? It's a letter that you write to someone that you never sent to anyone, you never show to anyone. As a matter of fact, you might want to destroy this letter afterwards in a safe manner, obviously, if you want to, of course. But the purpose is to express exactly how you feel about someone. You can use whatever words you want, you can swear, you can be as unethical as you want to be on paper. The purpose of this exercise is to express and let go of all of the anger and all the frustration that you have about a specific person or a specific situation. The goal is to write out as aggressively as possible how you feel. Depending on how much anger and frustration you have towards a specific person or situation, most of the times a person, right? You might have to write multiple letters, and that's okay. You might have to write many, many, many letters. So you can do this exercise if someone is no longer in your life, if someone, this is a person you were in relationship with or something like that, or someone that hurt you in your childhood, whatever it can be. It can even be a person that is still in your life and someone you have a good relationship with, right? For example, if you had a fight with someone that you love very much, with your friend or your loved one, right? Let's say you talked about this, you express how you feel, you set boundaries, you spoke about your needs and all those things. You talked, you have a productive conversation and everything is good. You found common ground, right? But afterwards, after a while, you realize that you still have a lot of build-up anger about the situation. That does not mean you should go back to that person and keep talking about this, keep bringing this up, because that might kind of not necessarily, but it might hurt your relationship basically, right? You might want to express the anger you have on paper, especially if you know that you did resolve the situation. You just have the, residual frustration and anger still. This is a very healthy way to deal with this. You just write an angry letter and then you destroy it. This is a wonderful method that I love very, very much. And like I said before, please do not expect any miracles from it. Do not expect it to work instantaneously. You might have to do this, over and over again, keep coming back to this exercise, but this is an incredible exercise. And yeah, like I said before, if you do all of these things, if you learn how to speak about what you want, if you learn how to set boundaries, and if you learn to speak about your emotions and feelings in the moment, if you learn to, in case it is safe to do so in the moment, tell someone that you feel angry and you would like for them to not speak to you this way or to not do these things to you, right? If you start writing angry letters, scream in your pillow, aggressively shake your body to music or something like that, you're going to feel so much more free. You're going to release so much energy that it will no longer be directed towards suppressing this anger, right? It's going to be freed so you can focus on your present and on your future. You can actually focus on your own goals. You do not have to feel, you will not feel secondary guilt anymore, because you will know that now you're standing up for yourself, you are protecting yourself, you're setting up boundaries. You will no longer feel victimized by your past circumstances. You will not give this power to all of these other people and other, events that happen to you. All right, so if you made it this far in this video, thank you so very much for watching this video. I'm so very grateful and I appreciate you so very much. I really hope you like these tips. I do consider this really, really important knowledge, and I'm really, really happy to share it here. Once again, thank you so very much for watching this video, you guys. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I would really, really appreciate that. And I'm not going to tell you which emotion I'm going to be talking about in the next video, but please stay tuned, because it's going to be just as important, and it's going to be very, very helpful, and it will have actual tips. So please stay tuned for that. Thank you once again, and I will see you in the next one.